Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Duelist Tub, and today we'll be playing Pure Spright. This is the deck list, as you can see here. I'm gonna make a few adjustments to this deck. Maybe I will cut this at Nightmare Unicorn. This will make sense later. I'll show you the replays in just a second. But before we get to the card by card, let's check out these replays, see what we can do with them, and then after that, let's see what all these cards do. Alright, see you there. Alright, to start us off, in our first duel we'll be going up against Ignister. Now, Ignister is a very powerful archetype which consists of side verse monsters, which all come together to sort of go into their boss monster, a Towers type card, the Arrival Ignister. But here we'll see what we can do to interrupt. First we'll Ash to stop them from getting the field spell, but they have the cross out designator. However, while they're using it, I'm gonna activate Max C. Because for one, they would have to banish their own Ash Blossom. And two, once they use Crossout Designator, they cannot use any of those cards they sent, like Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. They're gonna go for AI or I Meet You. That searches them a card, and they have to end their turn because they don't want us to get an additional draw from the Max C. We got ourselves Spright Smashers, and here is where all the combos start. Now, Spright Jet, all the sprites have this pretty powerful effect where if you control a level or rank 2 monster, you can special summon them from the hand. And the reason why we normal summon Iparia here is because no matter what, whenever it's summoned, it draws us a card. And we don't really want to waste this normal summon for when we can just draw instead, because their ability only procs if it's special summon, so you can't just normal summon and add a Spright Explosive Trap, which is Spright Jet's whole thing. I get this Spright Starter, which is the starter of the deck, unironically. This will special summon a Spright from the deck, but will lose life points equal to its attack, which we'll see in just a sec. However, first off, I'm gonna go into, that's right, Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright is a lot like Spright Starter, in which it also special summons from the deck, but it's any level 2 monster. However, they want to stop that, of course, because it's an amazing, powerful combo with Forbidden Droplet, which allows them to send any cards from their hand or field in order to negate any number of cards. They send Picari. However, I also activate the starter just to get the ball rolling. And I summon the blue. Now, blue here is pretty much the core of this deck. Spright Blue gets us all of our Spright monsters. In a way, Spright Jet is also the core. However, if this gets ashed, it won't get us to the Spright Starter, and if Spright Starter gets asked, it won't get us to the Jet, or to the Spright Blue. But Spright Blue gets us to the Jet, gets us to the Starter. They sort of all loop around. However, with Blue out, and we already have in the Jet, we could go right into, wait for it, Spright Red. And this is a powerful part of the deck. Not only are they powerful consistency tools that can go into any rank 2 or just power up all rank 2s in general, we also get Spright Red, which is a monster negate, attributing a level, rank, or link 2 monster, which we'll see in just a second. So I summon an attack resistant. This is a really bad move, by the way. You want to put him in defense, that's why the defense is kind of high. Spright Elf here, in my opinion, is the most broken card of the deck, just because it is generic. It is the most generic thing in the deck. 2 monsters, including a level, rank, or link 2 monster. At least with Gigantic Spright, you need 2 level 2s, right? However, you could have a level 6, a level whatever. You can even have a random XYZ, and as long as you have a level, rank, or link 2, you go into Elf. Now Elf here, during both turns, in the main phase, you can summon a level 2, rank 2, from the grave. So here, I think the best move, all of these are fine. It's fine because we already used Pearl, we already used Jet, we already used Blue. We even go into Gigantic for fun. We go for Maxi for fun, obviously. And I set the Smashers. Now the Smashers here is also absurd because we could banish a Spring and Steering or Spright. These two don't matter yet. We might get into a video about that. But banishing a Spright allows us to banish one level, rank, link 2, we control, and our opponent controls. However, we do have to banish the Spright from our hand or graveyard, but that doesn't really matter since our graveyard is clogged with them. Alright, it's our draw phase. Let's see how they're going to contest this board. They got the Doyon. Doyon goes into the, Dark Infant at Ignister. Dark Infant gets them the Ignister Island. When Doyon is used for material, it gets them the spell. However, we negate the Doyon to get them the spell, since we don't really want them to extend any further. That's negated. Dark Infant gets them the field spell. They activate the field spell. We special summon from a grave a Jet. This will, and remember, on special summon, we get to grab any spell from deck. Ice Smashers right here, banishing the Gigantic, targeting the island, and banishing my Jet. Get us a starter. And yeah, after that they forfeit because we just completely stopped any of their game plan. Without the island, they can't special summon any other attributes like the fire, light, wind at Ignisters, and it just completely stops their plays. Alright, let's go check out the next replay. Alright, this time we're going first, which is what Spright wants. We start off with the Call by the Grave, which is perfect in order to interrupt our opponent. The Ash Blossom to stop some draws. But this time, we don't have any Sprites. We only have the Smashers, which isn't great, because this only works if we have Spright and Grave. However, we'll see why this is still absurd. Alright. So we start off with Nimble Beaver. When Nimble Beaver is normal summoned, we special summon one level 3 Lord Nimble monster from our deck or grave. We use it to get Nimble Angler. And, surprise, surprise, Gigantic Spright is also generic, but not as generic as Elf, because any level or link 2 goes into Gigantic Spright. No, yeah, you can use link 2s as well for its summon. And we get to detach a material, special summon any level 2 from our deck. Also, neither player can special summon a monster for the rest of the turn, including Nibiru. So this stops us from being completely wiped with only 3 summons. Let's continue. This gets us straight back into our engine. So any 2 level 2s gets us our engine. We Jet, get the starter. This is how a normal combo would go. Starter gets us into the red. That's a monster negate. We're going into Elf. That's a extender. Gets us our angler. I believe I go into Masquerena. Yeah, IP. That's perfect. This allows us to link summon in our opponent's turn. That's a Pendulum Call. So we're up against Pendulum Magician, just like the last video from last time if you want to check that out. So we Spright Elf, summon back our blue. They're going to be able to draw 2 Magicians from their deck. Something else to note is Smashers completely counters Pendulum Call. Because, while yes, the Pendulum Zones cannot be destroyed by card effects, Smashers doesn't destroy. It actually banishes one monster we control and one card our opponent controls. So because we're not destroying their pendulum zones, we're banishing, we get to get rid of one of their zones, which is incredible against this sort of matchup. Thing going on. We'll see that later. I should have said that in the middle. They're gonna branded fusion. We're gonna stop that. Ashing is always perfect against branded fusion because it doesn't negate the activation. It stops the effect, so they can't just activate another one. Now, Fallen of Albaz here is very interesting. It's very brave. Spright Red, this is the monster negate. Got a tribute at level 2. We choose the Spright Blue. Now, I already used Spright Red, keep that in mind. Use IP Masquerena here. Go into, I believe, the Cerberus. No, the Nightmare Phoenix. No, I discard one. Yep, destroy. It's Magicians that can't be destroyed, I believe. Yep. So, of course, that's not going to work. We're gonna add the branded fusion back thanks to the effect of Retribution. And they also have a monster negate here and breakthrough skill. We're gonna banish because we don't really need to use it for this one. And now we're on to the races. Spright Elf gets us back our Spright Blue. Blue gets us our, I believe, Red or Jet. Jet is a smarter choice. Jet gets us our starter. Starter gets us our red. That's our monster negate. That's our spell card negate. We could actually use a link too and blue to go into Gigantic Spright, and that doubles its original attack. And it counts as original attack, which is why you don't see the blue here. We swap Frog. This is another combo. And we won't be able to see it here, but as you can see, this is another dub in our situation. And let's go check out that last replay and see how it goes. Alright, this is basically our perfect hand. We have the blue, the red, the carrot, and we also get to show off our frog combos. Now, the frog combos are extremely powerful because no matter what, they're going to get us a link too, unless they interrupt us. And let's see. We basically don't need to extend any further than we have to because we have everything in our hand and the Nash Blossom. So let's see how it goes. So I'm going to swap Frog, sends any Aqua type monster from the deck to the graveyard. That's going to be the Ronin Tonin. I love this card. It's amazing. I just love the art. But and we'll see what it does later. So we're going to add a Spright. They're going to ash us. We do not care. We straight up do not care. We summon no wait, we go into the XYZ. We get Gigantic Spright. And specifically I want to send Swap Frog so that I can get the Ronin Tonin. Spright Jet gets the Spright Smashers. Yeah, we didn't need the blue effect because we already got the Gigantic for that. We summon the Ronin Tonin. That's gonna get us our amazing Spright Elf. Something else I didn't mention yet also is that our opponent cannot target monsters with discard points with card effects. So here, and if it was here, it'll be here and here. Cannot be targeted with monster effects. And that's crazy for cards like Carrot and Red. Also Gigantic Spright, since you could stop them from interrupting us with like an Ash Blossom, I believe. No, this doesn't target. But if they were to target, they can't do anything. Like, I believe an Effect Veiler just can't stop us. I could be wrong. I'll check. But anyway, continue. Ronin Tonin back up. Spright Red, Spright Carrot. That's Renegade. IP Masquerena. And we pass. We also have the Smashers again. So they're going to add from their pick to hand any warrior. We're going to stop that. Not going to matter anyway because they have a Hero Lives. And especially summon a blue in order to interrupt the next turn. They're going to have a free sort of upstart Goblin without Maxi. I don't believe we'll be especially summoning that much this turn regardless. And then we summon we got would be the IKEA Masquerena. They get the Stratos. This gets them any hero from your deck to your hand. We're gonna blue. This is a sort of a misplay. I wanted to negate with Spright red. However, because I summoned Spright blue in such a awkward time, like in the middle of the chain, this became chain link 2, and Spright red couldn't interrupt. So that's something to keep in mind. Make sure that you're not interrupting your opponent with your own summon, and make sure that your Spright red is clear to negate an effect. This gets us our Jet for the next turn. That gets him Ferris. Ferris is an incredible combo enabler for hero. You get this card, special summon. I'm going to stop that, send in our blue. You're not doing anything this turn, Ferris. Shadow's gonna get them a hero, and they haven't used a normal summon yet, so they're gonna summon the Vion. Vion send Neos. Neos gets Shamus gets banished, gets them the Poly. They're gonna polymerize, but I say no. I'm a little desperate here. I stop it with my carrot. Then we're gonna go into the 2. Visor, show for Grand Mole, and the Dark Panther. They're going to attack, however I Spright Smashers, banish Gigantic, banish my Elf, and that, and yep. So we got a starter from our top deck, which is insane, disgusting, putrid even. We starter, we get ourselves blue, get us red. Summon, not summon the red, but we're gonna go into our link. Gigantic Spright, double the attack. Let's just Swap Frog. Swap Frog's gonna send under a frog. However, we won't be able to show that once again because they forfeit. And now this will get us back into the deck profile. Now, on to the card by card. I'll show you what I brought into the duel. So first off, I brought the Effect Veiler, just because I would like to have as much negate as possible, which isn't really a big deal because if we go first, they can't stop us. We're just too strong unless they have the Nibiru, which we stop with Gigantic Spright in the right circumstance. And let's see. So Effect Veiler, it's a hand trap. Swap Frog, we got the Ronin Tonin Swap Frog package. Really wish we had Totally Awesome. Would be tier 0. Not gonna lie, I believe this deck would be 100% a tier 0 contender with Totally Awesome. Just seeing how powerful it is without it. Swap Frog always sends an Aqua. Ronin Tonin banishes the frog, special summons stuff from grave. We could repeat this actually multiple times, which is exciting. As of the Max C, you know, the Masterduel attacks, send, it's a level 2. It's just too strong without it. Nimble Angler. I put this in the deck a little too early, but I did want to show Pure Spright really early as well. But basically, we're going to have a card called Spright Sprint, which sends any level 2 from our deck to the grave, which is why Nimble Angler is important here. Because if this is sent from hand or deck to grave, summon 2 level 3 Nimble monster from the deck, that being our Beavers. And speaking of Nimble, we have when this is normal summon, expect summon 1 level 3 or lower Nimble monster from your deck or grave. And Nimble Beaver here is basically our 1 card Gigantic. Gigantic goes into blue, blue goes into Jet, Jet goes into starter, gets us our red or our carrot depending on the matchup. And let's see, we also got the Iparia. When this is summoned, draws 1 card. This is a great engine piece just in case we're low on cards. You can combo it well with Spright Elf if you need it, if you're that desperate. But it's a good normal summon. This is a good normal summon. This is a good normal summon. It's good to start with these. And back and now right into the engine, we have the Spright Blue. As we can see, this gets us everything. Spright Blue can get us our Jet if we already have our Jet. we could go into our starter. If we have our starter and we don't have the blue, we go into blue. But blue gets us our negates, gets us our jet, gets us our gets us basically anything. Jet gets us our smashers, which is gonna stop any spells as trap shenanigans. And as you can see, it can stop. It can go over cannot be destroyed effects. And you gotta remember, this is always gonna be a 1-for-1. So we have the tribute level, rank, or link 2 monster. Up next is the Ash Blossom. Again, Masterduel attacks. Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion is an exceptionally powerful card because it stops the Called by the Grave. Because it activates when add a card from grave, hand, deck, or extra deck to the hand. So if you were to recycle, this activates. If someone were to special summon a monster from the grave, this activates. So this is good against the mirror match. You can use this against the elf. And let's see. We also have Nibiru because this is not a good Spright contender. If I were to change some cards over here, I would choose Lava Golem. Actually, you can replace the effect failures, which are incredibly expensive for Lava Golems in the mirror match. I'm not seeing any trouble yet with the effect failures. I haven't used them yet because I just made this deck. Called by the Graves stops combos, all of those in general. Smashers, smashes, and Imperm is just our other monster negate. Amazing hand trap. It will never stop seeing use. You can start with Sky's Cavalry Centauria for our extra deck. Cannot be destroyed in battle. If this battle opponent's monster, return that monster to the hand. Incredible effect. Let's see. Cat Shark. This is actually what starts our OTK. If we were to go second, Cat Shark is incredible. Not even second. Anytime we're ready for lethal, Cat Shark comes out. We can target one rank 4 or lower XYZ monster. Its attack and defense becomes double. Its attack and defense until the end of the turn. If you remember, Gigantic Spright already doubles its attack and defense originally. So it'll be 3200 and it'll act as its original attack. So it'll be a 6400 monster with the Cat Shark. Mannequin Cat, incredible extender. If you're stuck, if you just have 2 level 2s and you want to start your combos again, Mannequin Cat will get you to Spright Blue. If your opponent has a dark, you can special summon a monster, which will activate your effect. If they have a water, go into Nimble Beaver. If they have an earth, go into Imperia. And if they have a fire, we could go into our negates, which is very, very convenient. I'm bringing in Security Dragon in here. I think I'll get rid of this card since I don't really have anything pointing down into it other than the Nightmare Unicorn. If you want to replace this, I believe you want to go for, let's see, 2 XYZ. This one is miles ahead better, just because you get attach one material from the target one card, banish it. It's removal until the end phase, and this card recycles your banished cards, which is fun. It's amazing when destroyed by your opponent. Cerberus, monster removal. It's a 3-for-1, 2 monsters, discard 1. Staple. Nightmare Unicorn. Spells as trap removal. We saw it used against Magician. I'm using this to extend further, since this special summons us. If they ash us, we can go into this with any of our negates and any other monster. Special summon the Ash Blossom, go into another monster if we ever need to. This gets us our elf, I think, which doesn't really matter. IP Masquerena gets us into our Nightmare Unicorn in the second in the opponent's turn, which is shuffle into the decks, a spin, which is disgusting. Dark the Dark Charmer. This will be useful in a mirror match if we're going against Spright specifically, because this gets us a Spright Blue from the grave. Spright Elf. We saw what this is up to. It's disgusting. It's amazing. We'll see more of this in Life Twin Spright, which is something I'm gonna cook up right now. It's gonna come up tomorrow, I believe. And yeah, that's everything. Tell me what you think about Spright. It's an incredibly powerful archetype. I cannot wait to see how this is going to go in the meta. And hope to see you all soon. Thank you for watching Duelist Hub. Take care. Bye.